Joe, speaking of news, the Washington football team made some news
Mhm.
this week. So they signed Ryan Fitzpatrick, the GOAT. Kind of looks like a goat with his beard. And then they signed Curtis Samuel, who, by the way, if you don't know, is an insanely versatile piece. Carolina Panthers fans were actually really upset about that. Like he can run jet sweeps, he can run end arounds, he can run motions that are looking like jet sweeps and then just sweep out for a wheel. Like I really like Curtis Samuel as an offensive piece alongside the likes of McLaurin and Logan Thomas over there. So, Joe, I want to know, you're a Cowboys fan and you seemed a little concerned about this. So, do you think that with the offensive upgrades that Washington has made, they might not even start Fitzpatrick? We'll see what they do with Heineke. But do you think that this Washington football team can legitimately compete with Dallas for an NFC East crown this year?
Um, I think offensively, Cowboys are going to be a top five no matter what. In the NFL, I mean, not in the division. Um, Defensively, though, it will be the football team at the moment.
Okay.
Um, Cowboys, I will say, have made some small moves that have gone under the radar, getting players that are good with stopping the run, which we obviously needed last year. So good free agent moves that are sliding under the radar, but it's still not enough to fix that defense. I'm not as worried about the offense yet because, I mean, even though Fitzpatrick is the GOAT, it still has some work to do. That O-line is vulnerable. They got one elite offensive lineman that can, protect the quarterback, but not much else. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think they can legitimately compete with you just because your defense, especially your secondary, still needs a lot of work. Your pass
Yeah.
rush came on towards the end of last season. I was actually very impressed by it. And granted, it is NFC East caliber opponents, and none of those offenses were really particularly great that you played against. So I say that and take it with a grain of salt. But the big thing for me is I think a lot of teams will be able to pick apart your secondary and while your offense is cut out to be able to win shootouts, I don't know if it can win enough of those against really good defenses. So I could see a world where the Washington football team potentially wins this division off the back of the defense once again, because that defense is fierce. That pass rush is fierce. We already know how that's built, and that's going to get pressure on any quarterback in the division. And obviously your O-line, there's a lot of fluctuating parts and a lot of health issues that you need to figure out, and hopefully you'll get healthy in the offseason. That could pose some problems. Do I still think Dallas will win the division? Absolutely. I think that your offense is too good. I think your defense is still improving, and you made some improvements to your secondary as well. Another year of Diggs in the secondary as well will help you a lot. So I'm not bailing on Dallas here, but I think Washington is pushing towards respectability in the offensive front, and that could definitely help them.
I think we went in the right direction hiring Dan Quinn as a defensive coordinator. Obviously not as the head coach because that would suck. But I think coaching is one of the biggest problems on our defense as well. I would honestly say more than the secondary, because those guys, especially Trayvon Diggs, have potential.
Oh, absolutely.
And I don't think Mike Nolan was cut out to even bring out that potential at all.
And people also have to realize Diggs was thrust into the cornerback one role for most of the year because of injuries. So, like Awuzie was in and out of the lineup all season, and I think Awuzie might have left if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, so I mean, you're gonna have to find some new corners, but I think that people don't realize Diggs as a rookie was thrust into marking the likes of DK Metcalf. Like, what can you do there?
He started to break out at the end of the year, so
I think if you're the Cowboys, there's more room for optimism than Washington. But what I'm saying here is I think because Washington's upgraded its offense clearly and it's given weapons to the quarterbacks, and personally, I think their quarterback situation is considerably better than it was this time last year. I think that you guys could absolutely be in for a run for your money. I just lean Dallas.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, hey. If you like watching this video, then watch the last video right here. And if you like the video, then subscribe by clicking this button right here.